What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USD. It is the 22nd day of April, and here we are sitting at about $460, $465. We've seen a high of the day at $474 so far. Hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Thank you all for being here. 10 hours, 40 minutes left in this day. Let's get into it, okay? A little bit of volatility, but this is exactly what we needed. This is exactly what I was asking for over the past few days, is a move up much like this. However, of course, I was expecting and still am expecting that we see slightly higher prices. That would be nice to achieve. But this is good. This is exactly what we needed. The fact that there's no volume does not matter. I'm not worried about it because we're not doing anything. We're not breaking out. We're just in this range still, right? It doesn't necessarily matter. It only matters if we're breaking out without any volume. If we were to start to move up here and we were at higher prices than this and we had no volume, we'd be bearish. Just like when we broke out of this and there was no volume here, we were bullish, right? It's the same principle. So being in this range, you don't really need volume. In fact, the more time that you spend range bound, the more likely you are to decrease in volume because everybody's made their plays. That's why, real quick, in case anybody's missed it, I know a lot of the Bitcoin Cash faithful, a lot of you guys watching this video, you probably know this stuff already, but just in case you don't, let's go over it real quick. The reason why in a range you typically, like in a consolidation phase like this, you typically see the volume dying off like this. The reason why is because the people who wanted to buy or sell down here, or buy or sell down here, or buy or sell, or buy or sell, the people who wanted to do their thing, they already got in. They already got out. They already got in. They already got out. They did their thing at all these points. So as you continue to consolidate in the same price range, there's no new money coming in. It's all, everybody's made their plays, they've made their bed, and they're just laying in it now, waiting to see what happens next. Or on top of that, or in addition to that, the people who have gotten out, they're waiting exactly to see the breakout, which direction it's going to go before they get back in. And then, of course, if you break out, that encourages the people who sold in this area to buy back in. It encourages new money to get back in if they're looking for a trading position. Of course, we break out to the downside. That encourages new sellers to come in, people who were expecting the price to go up, but now it's going against them. They might sell at these levels to prevent further downside risk, stuff like that, or just panicking also. That also happens. But anyways, let's get into the short-term stuff. I hope that makes sense as to why the volume typically comes down. That's why the volume comes down before you see a breakout. That's like almost always the case. And whenever you're in these low volume environments, you need less volume to make moves up. So you don't really need volume to see this. You only need volume when you're breaking out of these ranges. And even still, you don't need it, but it's nice to see it. Okay, it helps validate. Like here, I remember at the beginning of the day when I made this video, we didn't have a lot of volume and it looked like we were breaking out. I was bullish on that fact, but then the day ended and man, there was a lot of volume. So that implied that we had lower to go. If we're looking at this from a high to a low, I just want to look at this real quick because we don't look at that all the time. I've interacted with a 236, seen a double bottom kind of fake out here. If we were to move up, the next target area technically would be 509, but I don't expect after consolidating in this area that we stop there. So my true expectation would be that we go to the 0.5 area or the golden ratio zone, and that is anything and everything between about $540 to $600 there, something in that range, okay? Okay. So in other words, this is where I think we're going to go if everything goes well, okay? If everything goes well. 1 hour time frame here, looking at that. We should check out the BCH BTC chart on that note. BCH BTC. I do think Bitcoin's going to cross above 79K. I don't believe we're going to cross above 78K. It's a very specific call, but I think we're going to get very, very close to 78K. Or, sorry, 80K. We're going to cross above 79K. We're not going to get above 80K. BCH BTC. Do it for me. Let's go. Let's see. BCH BTC. Nope. Nope. They're both taking their sweet time. Okay. That's okay. That is fine. I'm not going to spend any more time on this. We'll leave it there and hopefully it loads by the time we're doing this stuff. If it doesn't load, I'm going to throw this computer out the window. It's not even your fault, computer. It's the damn internet. But anyways, let's look at this here. 1 hour time frame. RSI is overbought. Nice to see. Looking very dominant, very powerful. You're at the 60 perfect area to bounce from. I wouldn't be surprised if you did. Volume coming into the upside, not a whole lot of volume coming into the downside. Do we have any gaps? Oh, we do. We have the dreaded 1 hour gap on Coinbase here at $448. It's not encouraging, my friends. What that means to me, doesn't have to mean anything to you, is that either we will come down to fill this gap. Where is it? Yeah, right there. It's that gap right there. Yeah, there's a little gap right here between these opening and closing points here. We'll come down and fill this gap and then continue to run. Bitcoin Cash is volatile, so that can't happen. Or we'll continue to run now, and then ultimately, over time, we will come back down to fill this gap, and then maybe again still continue moving higher. Hopefully we continue to move higher. But that does put a little hesitation in getting too much higher. Like, what if we went all the way up to $600 and that gap was still there? I would be concerned that as the bear market continued for Bitcoin, we would inevitably go back below there. I don't like it. Anyways, 1 hour time frame, stochastics, RSI, MACD, they're all bullish. I'm not seeing any signs of exhaustion yet. Let's see what happens next. Signs of exhaustion will look like this. Okay, so if we're moving up from here and we see a higher high, but we get a lower high in the RSI, if we get lower highs in the stochastics, if we get lower highs in the MACD histogram, those are signs of exhaustion. Any one of those, let alone all three of them together. If we're moving up right here and we're getting higher highs, but volume is not really that impressive, we don't necessarily need a larger spike than this spike. It doesn't need to be like, oops, that's not what I meant to do. It doesn't need to be like this, right? We don't need a larger spike, but if we're moving up and the volume doesn't really get past this like threshold here, we're just not really doing much at all, that would be concerning as well. Signs of exhaustion. We want to see volume come in as we're building, okay? At the moment, bullish. I have no reason to be bearish, but cautious, especially because of that 1 hour gap. The 4 hour RSI, overbought, the most overbought that we've been all month of April. Not only that, guys, it's the most overbought that we've been in multiple months now, since February. Wow. What happened last time we were up here? We were at a high point and we chopped and then we chopped and then we dropped. A little chop and drop action there. We look at this here from a relative high. I'm going to take this high to this low. Golden ratio, 236, 786, 886. You look good. You look really good, actually. 458 would be an area that you might expect to bounce from the golden ratio here, prior resistance, and then continue up. If we do continue up, there's these high points here that could contest us, and if not, well, we're home free, guys. We're going to be moving up above $500 here pretty soon. But it all depends on how we do it and when we do it. RSI looks bullish. If anything, stochastics do look bullish at the moment. And the MACD is very bullish, bouncing off the zero like this. I mean, you look great. I don't believe that we're at the top yet, but I do believe we're near the top, and that might imply then that $480, $500, somewhere in that range, that might be a relative high point. We'll look for the signs of exhaustion there in this zone. And if we can't continue higher, if we try and we don't have any volume to back it up, that might be the signal there as well. But I have a feeling over the next 24 hours, or maybe at least by the end of this week, we will know more definitely if we want to move up higher or if this is just a bull trap in itself. I'm not expecting it to be a bull trap, though. Again, I am expecting us to go back below 450 at some point. Bitcoin Cash is a squirrely bird. It definitely likes to be squirrely. So if we come down like that, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game with this thing. So we can do that and still maintain a bullish posturing. Don't get your feelings hurt if that happens. I don't really know if there's much else to talk about. Let's get on the daily time frame and then wrap this video up, okay? Looking at this here, RSI, again, we were getting oversold, consistently getting oversold, and we bounced off the oversold zone. That's awesome. That's the first implication of bullishness. Now we're breaking above these areas that were holding us down as resistance. That's bullish as well. So yeah, even if we come down to 448 or lower than there, I wouldn't be discouraged as long as we're forming higher lows still. As long as we're getting higher lows, I'm not discouraged. I'm not worried. Stochastics look bullish. No reason to be bearish here at all. It's definitely bullish. The RSI is bullish, and the MACD is bullish. We're bullish on all cylinders, on all time frames. I would be surprised if we turned around from here. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. But right now I'm sticking with the call that we've been sticking with over the past week, which is that we are moving up here. We're moving up to this area, whether it's just below this line, whether it's just above this line, somewhere in this area. That's where we're going to move up to, and likely by the end of April at this point. Awesome. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's actually check here. There we go. BCH, BTC. We got it. Let's check here and see what's going on. Daily time frame. Double bottom in the RSI. Don't mess with it, man. Stochastics look bullishly charged, and the MACD does too on the daily time frame. That's actually pretty good. We look at this on a weekly time frame, and this does seem like a low point within this range, right? Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin has been in this higher low, higher high structure. We've been in this channel up since February of 2025. For over a year, Bitcoin Cash has been trending up. Do you know what happened over the last year? Bitcoin entered a bear market. Most cryptos don't look anything like this right now. They're seeing this kind of reaction. They're seeing lower lows and lower highs. Most cryptos look like that. In fact, I bet we can actually do this. Let's see, others to BTC maybe. Is that a thing? It won't load. That's great. That is okay. What about on here? Others BTC. Yeah. Let's see if it loaded now. Yeah, there we go. Right? I mean, like if we look at this on a weekly time frame, the average crypto over the last year, actually it's not as bearish as I thought it would be, to be fair. I mean, we're kind of in this like wedge pattern here, this symmetrical triangle, but still in that same amount of time since February, most cryptos are seeing lower highs and lower lows. We're getting some higher lows now, but it's a lot different than this, right? It's a lot different than this. Bitcoin Cash has been one of the best cryptos to hold over the past year simply because of this fact right here, simply because it has outperformed Bitcoin consistently. Now, since February, since the end of February, since this Iranian-United States conflict began, it hasn't performed the same, but I think that's the same for all altcoins. We're at a point now where I would expect that we do bounce, where we do recover, which, if anything, I mean, we're right at the 382, man, it's perfect. If anything, what this means is not necessarily that Bitcoin Cash, hold on. It's not that Bitcoin Cash has to move up. It's just that if Bitcoin Cash loses price, like if Bitcoin Cash's price moves down, Bitcoin will likely move down more. Or maybe Bitcoin Cash does move up and Bitcoin moves down. We're going to see some growth versus Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to move up, Bitcoin Cash will move up faster than Bitcoin. That's what I'm expecting, especially from this 382 area. I'm wondering here if we look at this. Yeah, you bounced right off the 382 last time. We're just forecasting that exact same thing here. It's a very standard procedure. And then the exciting part is if we move up here, we're going to contest these highs. Are we going to find resistance? Are we going to break through? Very bullish things, my friends. Because if we break through, we are seeing this rounded bottom come to fruition. We're seeing this double bottom come to fruition, this W pattern overall, and we might see Bitcoin Cash reclaim 2% versus Bitcoin, which would be phenomenal. Phenomenal, my friends, absolutely phenomenal. Bitcoin Cash will be worth over $1,000 at that point, well over $1,000. Weekly RSI, you're in this area that you found support at before. Overall, very bullishly charged weekly RSI. Stochastics are reset. We're deeply reset, man. We're ready to go. And the MACD overall is actually bullish. Even though we're red right now, it is actually bullish. So we're not seeing any decay in the bearish momentum. I'd like to see that take place. You know, in that decay, we can see slight droppings here. And even if we flip green, it could be a false green. We can still move down. But we get that decay. We kind of chill. And then we move up. I could see that happening. I could really see that happening. Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm excited for the weeks, the months ahead for Bitcoin Cash. Certainly the years ahead will be very exciting. I don't think anybody's prepared, or at least nobody outside the Dragon Rider community is prepared for what's coming next, my friends. We've got a very, very long process that is calling for some upside here. It's developing right now. It makes me think of that quote from Dune. Our plans are measured in centuries. Okay, we have plenty of time for this to come to fruition. We can move lower and still have this very, very positive structure overall. And when we move up, we're not going to stop at 2%. We're not going to stop at 7%. We're not going to stop at 20%. You get what I'm saying? We're going to see extraordinary growth versus Bitcoin, and inevitably this might be one of the only charts, it might be the only chart that saw a multi-cycle lifelong downtrend that not only turned the boat around but also saw new all-time highs. Not many cryptos are capable of that. I don't think any cryptos have actually seen that with this kind of long-term downward sloping cycle. So I'm very excited for the future. Very, very excited for the future. I do believe Bitcoin Cash is more than capable of flipping Bitcoin in time, but that's a long ways away. That's multiple cycles away still. So we'll talk more about that in the years to come. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye bye.